joining in.
Nice.
Just let me know and I can start on the presentation whenever you're ready.
Say that again.
Just let me know if we want to give it minutes for everyone to join in. Then I can start the presentation.
Okay. Yeah, let's. I say we kick it off right now. It's 11.
Right.
All right. We good to kick it off? Everybody's in?
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here for another one of our webinars about, Yellowlite and our process. Thank you for coming and joining us. For this webinar, we are going to be talking about just generally our process and what it's like to work with us and what we do when you reach out to us looking for a custom solar panel quote and designs and installation, because we do all of that with you. It is kind of like a back and forth process that we embark together. So we just wanted to kind of give this webinar presentation to give people who are interested in solar just an idea, a window into what they could be looking forward to, and how it all works. So that's going to be our goal here today. All right, Yellowlite, that is our company. We are first and foremost a solar panel installation company. We do turnkey installations from start to finish. We walk you through the project and help you out every step of the way in getting a solar panel system designed, permitted, and installed, and then fully improved at the end and making electricity. We also service the system during its lifetime after the fact. So from start to finish, you reach out to us to get solar installed, and we are the ones who are going to be there holding your hand and doing the hard work to make sure everything happens as it should. Just to give an idea, we've installed about 3,000 solar panel systems across our 9 state territory. Essentially, the Great Lakes region is where we operate. We are the largest residential installer in Ohio. That is where our headquarters are in Cleveland. This year alone, we've offset 23 million pounds of CO2 with our solar panel systems. We're wrapping up the year, so that's a pretty accurate figure at this point. And then we help homeowners, businesses, nonprofits go solar, and we have done so for the past 14 years. Here's a look at some of our installations on the screen here. You can see, a handful of residential projects that we've done at the top using some of our newer all black modules that are high efficiency. And then if you look at the bottom middle one, you can see that's a nonprofit that we did, a larger system, for a larger building, larger usage. And then on the bottom right there, we got a nice ground mounted system that we did as well. A very large home that needed a lot of electricity and had a huge amount of land. So a ground mount solution was, the best option for them. I don't think we're going to really talk too much about tax advice. We will go over, generally speaking, the federal tax credit. It is something that you'd want to reach out to your tax professional about if you are interested in absorbing the 30% tax credit. It does depend on your tax liability, how much income tax you pay, because the federal government is basically going to be giving you that money back. So you need to be paying them money first for that to work out. All right, let me introduce, is it Gatsby's doing the first section?
Yep.
Yep, let me introduce Gatsby. He is one of our senior solar consultants here at Yellowlite, and he's going to be able to help you out, talk about the process that he would take you on.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Yeah, we wanted to just kind of put together this webinar more or less to give people an introduction, what the process here at Yellowlite is like. So understanding what it would be like if a homeowner is interested in solar for their home or business, how they might come to Yellowlite and how we can interpret some of the information that they can provide to turn that into a proposal for them. So first, we want to review the feasibility. So that will involve pretty well just taking a look at Google imagery, looking at the street address to make sure that it's a good fit. Now, we want to make sure that we've got good exposure and that we don't have anything that might disqualify the site for solar energy. So just making sure that first we've got good exposure and that solar is going to make a benefit in the first place. From there, we are going to determine the size of the solar array. And to do that, we need to obtain the electricity bill. So on that bill is what we are looking for is the amount of kilowatt hours. If we can tell how many have been used month to month, that is the best, but we really just need the annual usage to determine the appropriate size for the array. And from there, we'll put together a design optimizing the best roof space, where specifically on that roof is going to be good to lay panels. And from there, we can generate and put together a quote. And we like to make sure that we have the opportunity to review that quote with our customers just to make sure that we're talking about the same things, every detail of that quote, that they've got all that information. So yeah, it's a pretty simple process altogether. It should only take about 2 days to put together a proposal and about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes to review that proposal. Once we come to a agreement on the size for the system and the layout, we would move forward with a service agreement so that way we can carry on and have a site visit performed. And that's pretty well the basics for putting together a quote for a homeowner. It is something that we can do remotely. So if it is something where you don't have a ton of time in your day where you might want to have somebody come to the home, we can do quite a bit of that remotely here from our desks. So here we've got a small snapshot of the quote that had been shared. You can see here, this array has 4 subarrays, 1 east, 1 west, and 2 south. You can see here the offset that this quote is providing is about 104. You can see that is based on the estimated consumption of 22,000 kilowatt hours, while the system will make a little bit more than that. We wanted to more or less just kind of share what our quotes look like so you can get an idea. You can see this bar graph where blue is representing solar energy and the red bar is representing consumption. You can see there in the summer months when solar is providing a significant savings and then even carrying on over into that end of year with that remainder for 4%. So just kind of wanted to explain what you're looking at here pretty quickly. And then moving on, this gives you a good idea, a breakdown of the savings that you can see for this system. Over the course of the year, should come out to be just about $2,300. And this is based on the electricity bill for the customer that they had provided. So again, just a quick example of what the proposal looks like, what you can expect if you were to get a quote from Yellowlite. And then here you can see the pricing, and then the tax credit, and then the net costs involved. And that tax credit, it is 30%, just to make sure that people are aware. You might see some marketing or some otherwise some efforts to make it appear as if that tax credit is going away. That's not happening. It is actually here to stay for another 10 years thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. So if you guys are doing some research out there, if you see anything contrary to that, just understand that the tax credit isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And then here you can see some of the kind of features for the tax credit. And that is for the total cost. So everything that is kind of under the umbrella of that contracting agreement from Yellowlite qualifies for that so long as it is complemented by the solar array. So from here, I'm going to hand things over to my colleague, Nick. Nick Gable is also a senior consultant here at Yellowlite. Nick, you mind picking up for the installation basics here?
I don't mind one bit, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us and our little spiel here. So I'm going to talk about the installation basics here for a quick second. So also a simple process. We want to take care of everything for you, minimize all that back end work, and make sure you're just, signing papers and we're taking care of the rest. So we will schedule the site evaluation to verify all the equipment at your house, the roof, make sure everything's good to go for a safe and secure solar installation. From there, we'll take that information and we'll submit permits and designs for interconnection and municipality requirements so that we get everything approved before we, take the next step and order anything. So once that's all verified and approved, we'll then review those final designs with you. We'll have you sign those. And then once everything's checked out, we'll order that inventory and schedule the installation. From there, the installation will take about a day to install the solar on an average array, and then another day for that electrical interconnection. And from start to finish, with permitting and approval and all that back-end design work taking about the most time, we're about 120 days out. With the winter months, we're about 150 days out because those installations do get pushed back with that wonderful winter weather that we have here in Cleveland. So here's just a nice overview of the installation from the quote that Gatsby reviewed with you. So with this system, we went with a microinverter system, and you can see those microinverters, which are mini inverters that are adhered to each panel. Those are already mounted there, and those panels would be laid on top of them on those railings. And here you can see a metal roof where we clamp the solar mounts to the standing seam so that we actually don't have to drill into that roof. And then here's a great drone shot from our coworker Danny, and it just shows, the south facing and the west and east facing. You see a slight pitch there. The microinverters definitely help with the different orientations of those panels. So nice sleek system there. Can't really see it from the road or anything like that. So great job on the installation side. And then we're going to go over which inverter best suits you. So I'll keep going with this because it goes back into microinverters, which I just briefly discussed. So here you can see a diagram on the right of how a microinverter works, just like the image before, where every panel gets its own miniature inverter, and they immediately can convert that DC output of each solar panel to AC so that it can go right into your home or right back into the grid. So the pros of microinverters are a bit lengthy here. So each microinverter can output separate power so that you have more flexible power generation. So in the case of a west, east, south facing array, as you saw there, there was no shading, but each panel can output differently based on how much sun it's getting. And then if there was shading and say half the array was shaded, those unshaded microinverters could produce full output, whereas those shaded would be depleted, but the shaded microinverters wouldn't affect the full sun exposed microinverters. Also, if one fails, the rest of the system will keep producing because they're separate little power plants. So if one fails, it's not going to impede the rest of the system's production. And then they also have a great 25-year warranty. So they are on the roof, a little bit more weather, but they are covered by the longest warranty of inverters there that we see on the market. And then for the cons, they are a lot more equipment, so they are going to cost more. Each panel is going to have a microinverter, whereas when we go through the string inverter system, there's just one large inverter. So that also means more parts and more failure points. Luckily, there's that warranty. So you have that, but the smaller inverters are being asked to do a lot more, so they are slightly less efficient and at converting that energy. And since they are on the roof, again, they are going to see a bit more wear and tear than a string inverter. And then I'll let Gatsby take over here again with the string inverters.
Sure. Thanks, Nick. Talking about string inverters and the difference between a microinverter, you can think of a string inverter kind of as a gigantic centralized microinverter, if you will. So rather than many, we have one. And in this case, we are still doing the same effective transmission here, right? We're switching the DC energy into AC so that it can be consumed by your home or credited to the grid. Now, a string inverter and how it compares in the method of how it transfers that energy is a little different. Rather than having that benefit of balancing the power across multiple orientations or different directions of roof pitch, a string inverter is best going to be in the application where we just have a single plane of roof, or all the panels are facing in the same direction. Or in situations where we don't have so much prominent shading. So a string inverter is going to be best when we've got full exposure and then just one single roof plane that we're working with. The major pro here is the lower cost by comparison to a micro inverter. And that's important to the solar process, right? So we can understand that a homeowner and their return on investment might be a little sooner if they decide to go with a string inverter over a micro inverter. So that is something important that I do want to bring up. It can be the difference of a couple years in some cases. Some of the cons in terms of a string inverter is understanding that there is just one point of failure. So if the inverter in this case fails, the entire array will shut down, rather than in the case where if a single micro inverter shuts down, we can still retain the leftover panels and micro inverters that would still remain on. And then also the shade effect. So the mitigation of that shade effect across the array will have a larger effect by comparison, just understanding that we have one central point managing all of that shade rather than many. And then by comparison, the length of warranty. Tesla, they have a 12-year warranty on their string inverter, whereas the microinverter has a 25-year warranty. And that's pretty important for some people. So just having that peace of mind, more or less double the length of the warranty is important. But again, the cost is quite significant by comparison for that microinverter equipment. So that is what we're talking about. These inverters are more or less kind of the transmission of the system. You can think of that as like the workhorse, pretty well doing the majority of the work, transferring that DC energy to AC. And from here, we're going to talk about some of the lease and financing options. So right now, the primary partners that Yellowlite is working with in the way of lending are with our credit union, which is Clean Energy Credit Union, and then another lender by the name of Sunlight Financial. Their primary benefits are offering a low APR by comparison to some home improvement loans, specifically for the case that this is a renewable energy project. So what's nice about this is that there's zero money down due at signing, and then you can use that tax credit when it is ready for you in that 12 to 18 month period, that year after we've completed the installation, and you can pay that amount back into the loan. So that makes for a pretty nice loan payment that is pretty typical to be close to what a homeowner is already paying on their electricity bill, and in some cases, even less. So what's nice about those loans, moreover, is that there's no collateral. It is actually the asset. So the solar energy equipment itself is what is deemed as the collateral in this case. So that's another thing. There's no lien on the home or any other asset for these loans. And for those being long-term loans, that is pretty nice. Something that is going to be coming to the Ohio market soon is the concept of a solar lease, or what is sometimes known as a power purchase agreement. Those are two different things. I do want to make sure that that's clear, but those two concepts are something that will allow individuals that otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to utilize that tax credit and have a third party absorb it so that those payments can continue to stay low. So that is something that Yellowlite, we are currently in the midst of getting trained up on. We're eagerly anticipating having that the ability to offer that hopefully this month. So yeah, just like a solar loan, zero down due at signing, it should be something where we can offer a lot more to the greater Ohio area in the way of solar energy, just because I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to take advantage of that tax credit. And that's pretty major for the affordability of solar. So we're all pretty excited about the opportunity for these solar leases. So if any of that sounds good to you or someone who you might know is looking into solar, keep in mind we'll be offering that hopefully within this month, if not next. And then, of course, the fastest way to see a return on investment would just be going through a cash purchase. So something that a lot of our customers go with would be their own in-house financing, whether that be with a home equity line of credit. The EcoLink program is something that I will point to is about some 80%, I would say, of the way that most of our customers look to pay for their solar installations. I know right now the EcoLink program is under redevelopment with the state of Ohio. So we're also eagerly looking forward to that. But the cash purchase, again, that is understanding the fastest way to seek a return on investment in solar. And that's just based on a three payment plan. So 10% would be the deposit that Yellowlite looks to collect. And we can do that either before the site visit or during. You can remit that through our online accounts, or you can send that over the mail on the check, whichever is your preferred payment method. And then you would also have the benefit of the tax credit that year. All you need in order to claim for that tax credit, it would be a copy of your service agreement, any change order documents that are associated with that agreement, and then the final proposal that your rep had put together for you.
Thank you, Gatsby. I also just wanted to touch base on our referral bonus program. So if you are a current customer or if you know any other current customers and they refer you, they are eligible for a referral cash bonus. Here it is, anywhere from $500 for a smaller system up to $2,000. So a lot of our customers have been cashing in on this incentive from us directly and paying down large portions of their solar array cost and increasing that return on investment even quicker. So just a quick little bonus there for anyone that you know, or if you'd like to sign up.
Yeah, Nick, before we take questions, I did want to tag on that there's no limit to that. So if you know anybody that is interested in solar, don't feel like there is like someone keeping track of how many you've had. We appreciate all of them. So the more the merrier. There's no limit again on how many referral bonus you can take in per year, and it's good for your lifetime.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're very excited about, meeting new people, talking to them about solar, getting as many of these renewable energy systems put up as possible. So that is our number one goal. So we appreciate, everyone taking the time here, listening to our webinar, getting a little, insight into our process and how we do things. And, we'd love to work with you guys if you are interested in, reaching out to us now. If you could, if you are interested in getting either Gatsby or Nick to reach out to you and get the ball rolling on getting a quote or design, please reach out to us in that Q&A section. You can just leave your info there. We'll keep it discreet. We won't share it with everyone else in the webinar, and then they'll be able to reach out to you today, I believe. Otherwise, if anyone has any other questions about some of the material that we discussed here or anything else, obviously solar related, Yellowlite related, feel free to toss it in that Q&A section here at the bottom. You can access it, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions anyone has. We'll probably hang on here for a few minutes, wait for any of those to come in. Otherwise, we hope that you guys enjoyed the webinar and have a great day. And yeah, thank you for your support here. Yeah, we are pushing forward to that lease situation. We got our final meeting on Tuesday, and hopefully we're able to unveil it here before the holidays.
Awesome.
I think we'll be the first installer that I've heard of in Ohio that is offering solar leases. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, I'm excited. Big deal.
Yeah, to really help us reach a new demographic of people who, don't have thousands of dollars in cash, or maybe they don't have the, financial background, credit score, all that stuff that's necessary in order to, get a large loan on something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they don't have any tax liability, if it's an individual who doesn't have, pay income tax, like they're retired or what have you, the leasing company will actually absorb the tax credit on their behalf, and then, look to give them a monthly price based on that. So we're very excited about that as well.
Major thing to talk about in that lease package or the lease agreement is the fact that the equipment would not necessarily belong to you. So that is kind of what's nice. If anything goes wrong with it, it is on Yellowlite and the I'm sorry, Kevin, the name of the lease company, is it Sonova?
Yeah.
Did I have that right?
We could just say the leasing agent.
Leasing agent.
Yeah, they actually provide a 25-year warranty on the entire system, all its components, because they want to, have the system working for that amount of time. So they'll replace things, obviously their goal, and part of your agreement with them is to keep it working during that 25-year period.
Yeah.
See, we have a question over here.
Okay. All right. How do I tell which single thing or individual wire stuff? And if I have individual ones, how do I know if one goes bad? Yeah, so you can tell by, if you already have a system installed, you can tell by reaching out to our service department, which you can reach through our website, or you can email service at Yellowlite. And on the website, they also have a number for our service department, and they'll be able to figure out, how your, the equipment that you have installed, if you're a Yellowlite customer or if you're not. Typically the manufacturers will only make one type of inverter. So if you know what type of inverter manufacturer you have, or our service department can kind of guide you in that direction. They could let you know, hey, it's a string inverter or it's microinverters. And then typically, both of these options will have an online monitoring platform that you'll be able to access their web browser or your phone, and you'll be able to see the system's production in real time. And with microinverters, typically, you'll be able to see the entire array in each panel, and then you'll be able to see, if they're working or not. They'll be grayed out if they're not working, or they'll have an error. And then with a string inverter, it's even more obvious because a large section of your system will be down if you have an inverter issue. But I would highly recommend reaching out to our service department if you have an existing system and you're worried about some inverters being down. They'll certainly be able to troubleshoot it and get it working for you. All right. Another question. Why do the Tesla inverters have a shorter warranty considering they are out of the weather? That is a design choice that the industry has gone with. Almost all of the string type inverters that we've run into have a shorter warranty period. They've all opted for between like 10 and 12 and a half years. Some of those companies do have an option to extend it to be longer, but that is just like the industry trend. So Tesla kind of jumped on that bandwagon. Honestly, Enphase is really one of the only companies that offers that long 25-year warranty. They obviously, it is a more expensive option, so they make you pay for it, but that's a huge advantage to, those microinverters. All right, another question. Will battery backup fix if one goes down? No, the battery backup will, like if your inverter goes down and you have a central inverter, it will keep your home powered in the event of like a power outage. But it's your solar energy production is still going to be struggling, and you're going to need to get that resolved either through reaching out to a tech or maybe restarting your system. Sometimes that does it, but the battery backup is just going to provide energy for the home. The solar is what's actually generating that electricity. The battery's just storing it. Let me rephrase that. Yeah. Hope that helps.
Just wanted to share this as well. This is something that's on our website, on Yellowlite's website. We do have a energy storage calculator, as well as a solar calculator. I can share the links with you guys over here, but over here you can see how many Tesla Powerwall 2s, in this case, would you need to offset whatever appliance you have in your home. And of course, you can fill out your information, and then one of our solar reps can best guide you in what is most appropriate for your system.
Yeah, and it does give you a pretty accurate idea of the costs of something like this. Typically an average home will need about one Powerwall. A larger home that uses more electricity could need 2 or 3, depending. But yeah, this system, lets you build your own house, select, the different appliances you want to, not the appliances that you have at your home, but the appliances that you want backed up by the battery system, which is an important, difference, because you can have a massive AC system and backing that up with a Powerwall or a battery system can be a daunting task. Or if you have electric heat, it's even more difficult because it needs that energy in the dead of winter.
And Kevin, maybe if you could just also mention Tesla Powerwall Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we do have Powerwall Plus as well. So this is for people who are looking for solar and a battery at the same time, or looking to add on to their system and get a battery at the same time. It essentially has a central inverter built into the battery that'll take the energy from the panels, convert it, and store it in the battery, basically all in one unit. So it is a more cost-effective option because then just getting a separate inverter and a separate battery system, because it integrates everything at once, and it's easier for us to wire up, and it's less material all around as well. In the background here, you can see our updated quoting tool. It's probably one of the nicer ones you'll see in the industry. It's 3D imagery, shows, you put your electric bill in, you put your desired offset amount, and then it in real time builds the system on the roof like you see here. And, these are using the same panels that we would look to, put on your roof, all black, residential solar panels. So you could really price out, an entire system for yourself or your family member or whatever on our website, based on the, what their consumption looks like and what they're looking to back up with batteries. You can even toss in a EV charger in the mix too. If they're looking to get an electric vehicle. Our website is a nice tool. We have a lot of blogs that we've written on there. If you have very specific questions about certain things, a lot of different nice resources through the website. All right. Well, it looks like we've gone through the questions here. I think that should do it. Once again, we appreciate everyone coming out and hearing our talk about, the solar process and our company in general. And thank you again, and hope everyone has a great day.
Awesome. Nice job, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Yep.